Ooh, what's up, guys? Welcome to a Savage Gaming Podcast. I'm a Savage Kev.
I'm Paul.
I'm Shane. I got news. We got our first dislike
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
on YouTube, man. I'm pretty excited about it. That makes it super duper official. I love it.
I want
So
more.
it's a real thing now.
I want
Yeah.
more. So if you can go out and dislike more, we would appreciate it. And leave nasty comments too.
Yeah,
Of course.
yeah.
Yeah.
Why not?
Give me something to chuckle over.
Love it.
I might engage y'all in an argument.
It's a great argument.
Cheers, boys.
What we're not arguing about is Paladins. We all like Paladins, and we all been playing the shit out of Paladins.
I will argue against that.
Okay.
I enjoy Paladins. Sort of. It's not my main thing. A lot of the streams you see us post up, I'm not on them. That's on purpose. I enjoy the game, but I'm not fond of it as on the level they are.
Yeah.
But, it's not bad.
What's
I think it's a blast.
Yeah,
man.
I think it's a blast. What would
Yeah.
be like your main nitpick about it?
It's just the style of game is not my style of game. Like much like I don't like the Friday the 13th and Evolve style of games where it relies heavily on online participation in a group
Right.
of people and there's set game modes. Like I don't like that. I like exploring a world and getting depth of story and stuff like that. It's just not my style of game.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
see,
I will
like
say
to
it's fun.
go in and get some kills, but
Yeah, blow and go,
it
baby.
has been more fun. Like the more we've been playing and having like complete teams,
Yeah.
that makes it way more fun than just jumping in with randoms because you don't know what you're gonna get at that point. But it's like the more you play, you start figuring out like this guy likes this character, and then you start filling out that team so you
Right.
have someone of everyone and.
Right.
Yeah,
You know,
and there are
we've
two
been doing
characters.
well, like-
there are two characters I very much enjoy from that
Mhm.
game. Like when I play, I want to be one of those two characters, and that's Fernando the Knight
Fernando.
Yeah.
and
Fernando
Wesley
fucked me
Snipes.
up a lot. Wesley Snipes.
I don't know his real name. But
Was
Wesley
it
Snipes.
Lex? We were calling him we were calling him Simon Phoenix for a while, man.
Oh, Wesley Black as Snipes. His name's called Lex in the game, and
Yeah.
he's one of my least favorite characters.
I didn't enjoy him either. It was that when you do that shot, he kind of does like a bunch of shots at first, and then you can kind of fire.
Yeah.
I didn't like that kind of forced multi-shot
Yeah,
deal.
yeah,
That
I
didn't
didn't
work
care
for
for
me.
I wasn't great at his special because I didn't know how it worked, but somehow every time I used it, I got a kill or two with it.
Puts the guns together and like it's just an aim thing, and I'm really bad at that. Yeah, his ultra was my biggest problem.
Yeah, I've went through so many characters on that game that I liked, and I settled on one that I've been playing a lot lately, but there's still others that I like. But at first, man, I really liked Andraxis. I thought he was cool. Victor was cool.
Victor was awesome.
Like I don't use either one of those anymore. I like Bomb King. I played him for a while. I don't really play him anymore. I don't dislike him.
I did 2 matches with him, and I have mixed feelings about him because the first time I didn't know that you had to trigger the bomb, so I'm just sitting there throwing bombs, and nobody's dying. Like I never set any of them off.
Yeah.
But they didn't explain that to me, Like
No, it does. I mean, it says detonate
Yeah.
bomb on the thing.
I didn't look up the controls. I just picked the character
Yeah.
and started playing the game.
Yeah, he's
Went
got a
all
bit
out.
of a learning curve. But I'm playing Maeve right now, and she's got a
Maeve is
serious
awesome.
learning curve as well.
Maeve is
She's
awesome.
kind of like the ninja type character. You sneak around. She's fast.
And you
She's
got that
fast. She's got
dope-ass
throwing
costume.
knives. She does a lot of damage, but she also takes a lot of damage. Like she has the least health.
Yeah.
But I've been digging her a lot, man. I'm still figuring out how to play with her the way that I want. But I've been having some good games. I'm happy with her, and I like Saris. Saris is badass, man.
Saris, you play good with Saris. You
Mhm.
really do.
Yeah.
Genos is my boy.
Yeah, you've been
Genos.
doing. I did Genos for a while too, and then you were really liking him,
Mhm.
and I found some other characters, so I just kind of moved on.
Yeah.
And like you do better with him than I was doing.
But-
Who was your goblin homie in the mech suit? Like he was pretty cool.
Ruckus.
Ruckus.
Yeah, Ruckus.
Ruckus is cool, man. I bought him, and like I've gotten killed by him a lot, so I was like, man, let me check him out, and I bought him, and I haven't played with him yet.
He's a
Like, at
damage
all.
dealer. He's
Yeah.
a big damage dealer.
Mm.
You know.
But isn't his thing? Like I said, I haven't played with him, but isn't his thing where when you're shooting, it's stationary?
Mm-mm.
No, you can still move.
Yeah, I mean
Okay.
he's a bit slow,
Mhm.
but I mean,
The rate of fire is
oh
incredible.
His rate of
man,
fire is great.
he's got
Yeah,
two
he
Gatling
smoked
guns. You know.
I mean, now I'm better at getting out of the way, especially like playing with Maeve. You jump around like she's got the
Yeah.
double jump.
She's everywhere.
You can go really fast. So you can kind of get away from almost anyone. But also got the dude who's the guy with the sword. What's his name?
Oh, Zen.
Zen. I played with Zen a little bit
How is
earlier
he?
today,
He's
man.
one that I've always wanted to try, but I never bought him.
He's cool. He does a lot of damage. My biggest beef with him right now is he's a flank character as well. And after using Maeve for so long, I'm used to moving a lot faster.
Yeah.
And with him, it's like I go to move, and I'm like, fuck,
Yeah,
he's
it's a bit
slow.
slower.
Yeah, it's like I
Yeah.
almost forget because I kind of play him if if somebody else takes Maeve.
Doesn't he do a sword on his arm and it turns into fire, like a fire sword? Or something like that. Is that the same character I'm thinking of?
I think he always has a fire sword.
Oh, okay. 'Cause
I mean, maybe he does that, but he has something where he kind of holds it up, and it blocks damage.
Nice.
And I think there's like a counter attack with it. I can't remember, but I played a couple games with him earlier. I still don't know him well, but I did okay. I mean, I didn't do bad at all for a new character.
I turned it on today, but I actually didn't play. I just looked at the screen, which I tend to do a lot. I don't know if you guys do it, like you just turn on the game and just look at the game and play on your phone. But
Yeah.
I did that. But I noticed they got something new now. Comes some kind of aim assist on Paladin. Have you played today?
I did play today.
Have you noticed like an aim assist thing on? Because I'm looking forward to getting into that tonight.
No,
There's some kind of new aim assist. I don't know if it's for
I'll be down to play a couple
strictly
rounds
like shooter characters or for everybody, but it's some kind of new aim
That
assist.
seems like it would take away from the skill required to play the game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't really like that.
That's why I'm curious to see what it's about.
I didn't
you
notice
know?
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll check it out, but for one, I don't want to use it because I want to, I want to play that
Oh,
character.
absolutely, yeah.
And especially like playing with Maeve because she throws like 2 knives, and like that's your attack, just 1-2, and then you gotta wait a second before you can throw them again. So with her, it's like you really have to be on point with your aim,
Mhm.
and it's just it's one of those things, man. Like perfecting that character just makes you a better
Right,
player, and
absolutely.
I don't want to take like that skill set away, or like
Right.
learning that skill set away.
Well, we play usually with 4 people: me, you, Andy, and Eric, and everybody's got their own character, and we really do some damage.
Yeah,
we
man,
really
we've
had some
had some good
exciting
games.
matches. You know?
We're starting to level up to the point where we're getting tougher matches now. though.
Yeah. We're starting to fight other players that have prestiged. They've been to the level cap, reset it just because they're bored and they have nothing to do but play
Yeah,
Paladins
yeah.
and go all the way back up and then reset it.
But I mean, even still, man, like when we're losing, we're still competitive. I mean, we rarely ever get like just wiped out.
Once
We've
in a
had a
while.
couple games
Yeah,
where
once
we
in a
got
while we
wiped
get
out,
wiped
but
up.
for the most part, man, we're pretty damn competitive.
Yeah.
Well, the fact that you're going against prestige players speaks to the quality of a very free game.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
If people
Yeah.
play it enough to max out and then decide to start over and play it all over again, and
Yeah.
they didn't have to pay for the game, that speaks volumes about the quality of the game.
Which we actually, Kevin and I both just paid for the VIP package, which they give you like some chests and stuff like that, and perks to where you gain extra experience, and it was like $15, man.
Yeah.
It was definitely worth it. It was one of those things. I think I said it on the last episode. I was like, at some point, I just want to buy something, just throw them some cash,
Yeah.
man. I
Yeah.
just really like the game. I think they did a great job with it. So we both did that. Eric did as well, and
Yeah.
it's like it's $15, man. It's like thanks
If
for giving
if
us
I
a
liked
cool
the game more, I would more than willingly throw them $15 or so to get the rest of the content that I don't have now. But I don't enjoy the game that much, so they deserve some money, but I don't know if I'm ever going to turn the game on again.
Yeah.
So I don't want to throw them money and then just never play it.
Right.
No, I mean, I completely understand that, but I intend on playing it a lot.
Yeah, me too.
I'm still
Me
really
too.
enjoying it.
And the thing about the VIP thing, and a lot of the stuff that you buy with real money or in-game currency, it's like a rental thing. The VIP is like a rental for 70 days. And like Shane said, you get chest, you get like experience boosters and gold boosters, So you get that kind of that treatment up to a certain point, then it kind of makes you want to buy it again. So it's really a genius plan on their part, I think.
Yeah,
If you
it
like
is.
the game, you're going to keep dishing out $15 every 70 days.
Right, and it's it's totally optional as
Yeah,
well.
absolutely
It's like you don't have
optional.
to. You can
Yeah.
still play for free
Yep.
if you want to do that. So it's kind of one of those cool things to where you can try it out and just roll with it
Yep.
for a while, man. If you decide like you didn't like it as much, so
Right.
it's like you
Don't
can put it
want to
aside.
man.
You didn't waste
Yeah.
any money. Like there's nothing to be upset
Yeah.
about.
I don't know, I got a few hours in of a game that I didn't pay for, and I had fun
Yeah.
playing it. I
Yeah.
just don't think to turn it on myself when I'm at home alone because it's
Mhm.
not my style of
See,
game.
I go in and like hit dailies and shit.
Yeah, me too. Man, me too. Yeah, I hit them. I think I'm at like 75% on my dailies because I've logged in for like 16 days straight.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
So, everybody's a fan of Mario Kart, right?
Of
Yeah,
course.
sure.
Mario Kart Mobile. What do you guys think?
I'm excited, man. I bought the last one for iPhone. The what was it, like
Mario Run?
Mario Run or
Mhm.
something like that. Dude, I love that game, man. I played the shit out of it. They have like a mode where you kind of like you match someone at like you try to beat someone else's time and score
Right,
and
Time
shit.
trials.
Yeah, like a time trials deal. I don't know why I couldn't just think of the name of that, but I played that for a really long time after I finished the initial game, and then you have like coins to find, and then they just keep getting in like more difficult places. So it's like you go through and play for that, which I didn't 100% it because some of that shit is insanely tough. But I loved it, man. So I'm excited. I think they did a great job on that one. I think they'll do a great job on this one as well.
I think it's a great concept. Now, I don't think they'll ever touch the level of Mario Kart that like 8 or Double Dash is on in a mobile game. That's not going to happen.
No. Yeah.
But everybody loves Mario Kart. And if everybody could have it in their pocket and play it like a Words with Friends style, like let me hit you up and let's do a quick race real quick, even though we're not in the same building, like that could be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's one of the things they allow with that, I'm
I'd
all
imagine.
about
I'd
it.
imagine they would.
That's my biggest thing. That's
Yeah.
what I'm looking for. I'm looking exactly like Paul said with the Facebook friends games that you can just invite real quick. If they have that option on it, it's going to be killer.
Like even if
Yeah.
they don't, I'm still gonna pick it up because
Yeah.
I think it'll be fun regardless. But
No.
with that type of game, you almost need to do that. Like you almost need to make it an online type play.
Which I think they will. But it's so easily accessible, especially with the Facebook thing, man. It's 2 clicks, and then boom, you're playing with somebody. It's a great thing.
Yeah, and that's one of those ones too. I think a lot of people would pick up.
Yeah.
Just
Oh, yeah.
like for the nostalgia factor. So
This fool paid $60,000 on a weapon skin in Counter-Strike.
yeah,
What do you think about that?
I think he's retarded.
it's wild, man. I mean, for one. I don't even know what it's like to have $60,000,
That's for one.
available at just
Right.
Fuck
like a
off.
skin. It's not even a weapon, man. It's a
How do
skin.
people that ridiculous and dumb have so much money that they could just dispose of and not think about?
I mean, I guess if you had it, it's not a big deal. I mean, I feel like I wouldn't do it out of general principle.
Cheap Facebook joke incoming. Was it Donald Trump?
Yeah, it was some kind of like really rare like weapon skin or something. It wasn't just like one that you could buy. It was some kind of like weird rare thing. I don't remember what the whole. I guess the whole deal with it was. But
Yeah, but it's for
it's just-
Counter-Strike.
I mean, it was
A
60
game that's
60 grand,
super
dude.
old. 60 grand for anything is too much. That's it's a skin on a video game or like a
Yeah.
gun or something. Like it's no.
I could
No.
see a kid spending, mommy 60 grand on like some Grand Theft Auto online shit.
No.
But Counter-Strike? I don't know.
I mean, I never played the game, but
Look, if you're gonna put 60 grand into something that I could just walk up and yank the plug on your power cord and you just lose that forever, that's a stupid investment on your part.
It's a
Just
stupid
throw-
investment. Don't do it.
yeah, but I kind of feel like at some point you made some really smart investments to have the kind of money to just blow 60 grand on a fucking weapon
Yeah.
skin. It's like, I think it's ridiculous, but at the same time, it's like, fuck, man, you got there.
No.
Hey, man.
I mean, that's like fucking, P. Diddy money type shit where you just buy ridiculous stuff for no reason.
Like my ass with 20s, like my blunts with 100s.
But overall, yeah, it's ridiculous.
That had to
Come
be
on.
the kid from Blank Check, right?
Oh, it had to be.
Wasn't it Mr.
Yeah,
McIntosh?
Mr. McIntosh. Yeah, Mr. McIntosh isn't here. What was his name?
I don't remember. I just know that Tone Loc, aka
Tone Loc.
Juice, wasn't happy with him.
Oh, hey! Remember he was getting hit in the nuts with the ball launcher thing. I heard enough about Blank Check. God of War apparently has optional bosses. Now, to me, that screams open world all the way.
Yeah.
That's the thing that's kind of been getting me about this game. I'm still excited about it. I really want to play it because I always loved that series. But it's like they're saying it's not open world, but everything they announce just like alludes to it being an open world game. And I don't understand how you don't make that an open world and add things like optional bosses or like side quests. Like, how are you gonna do a side quest and
Yeah.
it's not open world?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they'll blow me away with something, but
Maybe they did it Neo style to where like it's basically an open world like Dark Souls, but you have to pick your level and you're confined within that tiny ass map.
Yeah.
But everything else still applies. So maybe they're going for something.
yeah, maybe
like
kind
that.
of like
It
the
could be the route they're going. What was that Final Fantasy? What was it like 13? Was like that, I think. or 12. I forget which one, but it was linear. It was big sections that were linear that you could explore open world. But then you had to go through like 7 of those, and then it finally got to the open world.
Well,
part.
they did that, with Evil Within 2, which like you kind of start off in an open world type setting, and then at some point it kind of straightens out.
I
So
loved it.
I didn't make it past the open world part. I really liked the first game, and I was really excited about it. I loved the first game. I thought it was terrific.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then the second one, I started playing it, and it's something that I might attempt to play again, but I'm just like, why, they had a good formula. I don't know why they changed it, but it did really well. It's just I'm not
It
like
did
trying
really
to
well.
shit on it. It's just personally, I was just like, man, I thought they had something good. It's like, why make the changes?
The whole progressive thing, man. I mean, I say that about a lot of things, and sometimes I catch shade for it, but if you're a fan of something, and you think it's a perfect formula, you want it to continue with that perfect formula.
Well, see, I'm the thing too, though, and I've always felt this way about music as well. Like a band will put out a new record, people will be like, that sucks now. And it's like, for me, I'm like, dude, I'm glad you moved forward. It's like, I might not dig it, but it's like, at least you gave me some records that I like. And, I kind of treat games the same way. It's like, Evil Within 2, personally, I couldn't get into it, but it's like, I'm not going to shit on it, man. It can still build a great franchise, and it's doing well. It's just not the thing that I wanted. Because
Right.
I really dig linear games. I'm not a big open world person. Like, I don't hate them, but it's like I feel like I do the same thing over and over way too much, and I feel like it kills the story for me. It's like I'm doing so many side missions that like by the time the next story thing comes in, I already forgot what happened. Like I smoke a lot of pot, man. I'm not a kid. Like I get fucking baked and play games, and then it's like by the time the next piece of the story comes, I'm like, I don't know what the fuck happened on the first one, dude. I was pretty wrecked when that happened, Like I played Assassin's Creed, the Origins. I got about halfway through. I have no idea what happened in that game. And to be honest with you, like my brother told me the same thing. And I mean, he doesn't get stoned. I mean, he plays fucking Stone Cold sober, and he was like, dude, I have no idea what the story was on that. I mean, he enjoyed it, but it's like I feel like those games, like the story gets a little lost. But then it's like I don't want to be the guy that complains about too much content in the game either.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, for me, maybe it is. Like, I prefer less content personally, but it's like I don't want to be that guy who's trying to take anything away from anyone else either. It's like if that's what you like, by all
Right.
means, play it.
I'm very much into the open world games because I like the fact, like, I go into these video games, it's like, I want to explore a world that's not the one I currently live in because this world is bullshit and I don't like it. So, like,
Yeah, I agree with that.
put me in a whole new world with whole new characters and different creatures. Like, I like the open world exploring aspect and being able to, like, sometimes just stop your character and just look around and take in the fucking scenery. I love that. But I will say, as far as Evil Within goes, the first one was terrifying, the second one was not.
Yeah.
Like they lost a lot of the scary by adding more to the area.
Mm-hmm.
So it's give and take.
Yeah.
It's give and take.
Right.
Like I thoroughly enjoyed Evil Within 2. Thought it was a better game. It was not nearly as scary. It was not nearly as difficult. Like it lost a lot of what made Evil Within, but it also, I think, as a standalone game, it would have been arguably a better game.
Well, I do this with open world games a lot too, where like I'll start getting into them because I really like Far Cry, man. Like I think all of those games are terrific, and I don't play a lot of open world, but I really like those. But even that, at some point, it's like, when you got to take over the fortresses, climb the towers, all of that. There's so many of them to do that at some point, it's like I'll just have days where I just go around doing that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then it's like, man, the next day I want to put it on. I'm like, dude, I don't even feel like playing this, dude. Like I've just done the same thing over and over again so much. It's like, and then it's like, the hunting missions. It's like you have to complete those to upgrade everything.
Yeah.
And it's like I don't have a problem doing any of that stuff, but I just feel like you do the same thing like so often. I just think if they broke it up a little bit more and maybe varied the missions and like the objectives a little bit better. But that's me personally.
On those bigger open world games like that, I tend to, when I start the game, I want to do everything. About halfway through the storyline, I say fuck it and just rush to the ending.
See, I do that too.
Yeah.
Eventually, I hit that point where I'm just like, fuck side missions. Like I'm just going straight to.
I think that comes with the progression of these open world games, and I think it also has a bit to do with our age, because we don't have the time to spend. Because I was an avid open world guy. Like any game that came out, is it open world? No, I don't want it. I mean, I like Paul says, I love exploring, different worlds and everything. But there was a point, and I can't remember what game it was, to where it was an open world, and it's like, wow, this is too much.
Mm.
And like Shane said, it's like you do all these side missions, and then when you actually go to progress the game further, you're like, huh?
Yeah, I remember playing Red Dead Redemption, and dude, I get caught up in hunting so much. It's like,
Yeah, man.
You like you riding your horse and there's a deer and you shoot it, and then like you get off the horse to skin a deer, and then like while you're in the animation skinning a deer, like a rabbit's hopping by in the background. Like, then you kill a rabbit, and then like you finally think you're okay, and then it's like something else just runs by, and the next thing you know, like you've been hunting for fucking 45 minutes. And you're like, God damn, dude, I didn't even play the game.
Fucking GTA 5 when I played, they have this cinematic button when you drive. You hold B, and it gives you different camera angles. And I found myself turning on GTA and just cinematic driving for about 2 hours and not doing anything, And when it gets to that point, it's like, turn the game off. You're done with this game. Like if that's the best you can do is just get in and drive around, and goof off. It's like, man, turn on something.
So I never really gotten to the GTA games.
That's a big problem I had with the recent Final Fantasy. Was did you play it 15 or whatever?
I played about 20 minutes of it.
Because they made you drive to every area, and the driving controls sucked. Or you could set it to auto drive, but like fast travel, like the loading screens were way too long, so it didn't make sense to use fast travel because it wasn't fucking fast.
Like it was quicker to just drive there.
It was quicker to just drive there and set it to auto drive, but then you're just sitting there for 5 minutes staring at the TV while these characters have conversations. Like, dude, I bought this game to play the game, man. Like,
that was my thing. I remember driving. I drove to a gas station, I did some missions, and I drove somebody, somewhere else. I'm like, I'm really not digging this driving, and I turned it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I always intended on playing it. I just, like, I didn't have the time. Like, every time I wanted to really get started on it, I'm like, man, I just don't have the time to get into something
Final
this big.
Fantasy 1 is one of those games, I mean, if you just want to start Final Fantasy, you're looking at least 2.5, 3 hours.
Right.
You have to dedicate, because
so
if you...
much cutscene and story intro and everything.
Yeah, it's just tough, with life and shit. Like, being a fucking grown up, it's like I just couldn't find the time to dedicate. Now, at the time I was doing a band, and it's not like a band's just not just doing rehearsals. It's like sitting at home, like writing new songs, and it's like you really have to put that kind of time into it, thought into it, like promotion, shit like that.
Big tours.
Thinking about like massive tours, stadiums and shit. You gotta figure out, you gotta make a rider out. But yeah, I mean, it's just at that time, man. I didn't have the time to do it. But interestingly enough, I was in a band with my friend Vince, and Vinny was playing it all the time. So I mean, I guess he found the time.
Yeah, I know it did well. It did really well. A lot of people.
But I used to go to his house, man. He was playing it all the time. But he loved it.
I finished the story mode on that, and it was a fantastic game. I will say it had its problems. The camera for the fight scenes was fucking atrocious, stuff like that. But it was a very good game, and I'm not a Final Fantasy fan, but I thoroughly enjoyed that game. But yeah, like it forced me, like I had to force myself to continue the story because it's like, oh, let me turn this game on, and then sit here for 6 minutes while I watch this car go down the road and hope nobody attacks it. Like I couldn't even set my destination and go outside to smoke a cigarette, because if I did that, I'd come back in and find out that like somebody blocked the road and started a fight. So you just have to sit there and fucking look at it. And like that bothered me a lot. But the characters were likable. The story was very good. It was a great game. I just didn't like that aspect at all.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of Red Dead Redemption, they finally put out a date on that. It's supposed to release in October. I'm not sure the exact day. I probably should have researched that, but
I'm fine with October.
But October, I think it's great, man.
Yeah, I'm fine with October.
I don't know if I've ever played the original Redemption. I played Red Dead Revolver.
I liked Red Dead Redemption. I got so caught up in side shit, I never finished it.
Yeah.
I just it was just one of those ones I got burnt out on.
Well, I know I owned it.
But it was good. It was a lot of fun. Like I liked it a lot when I was playing it. I just, whatever happened, I don't know. But
this one looks great.
I lost it. It does look great.
I mean, it looks
like it's another one I'm excited about. Like that and Far Cry, man. I'm excited about both of those games.
Yeah.
See, I think I'm going to skip Far Cry this year, at least for a little while, because I'm really intrigued by that. What's it called? The Kingdom something or other. The fucking game where you play as a knight in a realistic middle. Fuck, what's the words I'm looking for? I'm drawing a blank.
Yeah, I'm not even
Like
I'm not
the
sure which one you're talking about.
medieval times, fucking like play as a knight character. It looks like Witcher without all the fantasy elements. Like it's a legitimate.
You are
like,
reigning king.
you are like a knight, dude. I forget what it's called, but
Yeah,
Kingdom Come Deliverance.
Kingdom
Oh,
come
okay, yeah,
deliverance.
I have seen that.
Yeah,
You
it's
wield
like-
a sword.
Yeah, it looks like a super realistic version of a medieval knight type game or whatever. There's no fantasy involved from what I can tell. It's just you are in that world.
Really?
And it looks super legit and realistic. And that's piquing my interest because I don't think I've ever played a game like that before.
That's that world that you
That's
stole
cool.
some
I mean, I'm gonna do
hand
Far
chopped
Cry,
off.
which I'm assuming is just gonna be a Far Cry game.
Far Cry, baby.
But yeah, I'm pretty pumped about it. That's the next one I'm really excited about.
We all survival horror fans here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Resident Evil 2, what you thought about it?
Great, man.
Yeah.
You know, Leon Kennedy, dude.
Leon, baby.
He
He's
hit the
handsome.
scene.
What do you think about the controls of Resident Evil 4 on Resident Evil 2?
I'm all for it.
Yeah. I don't know if it's gonna be. I heard about this, and I don't know if it's gonna be as far as like a run and gun type situation, or it's gonna be stationary like 4. I'm not sure how they're doing that, but I mean, in my opinion, man, when you're remaking a game, to make it to just do like another version of the game that already existed, I don't really see much point in that. It's like why not have like better
Add a little,
controls
yeah.
and you know, like revamp the entire game, man. I
Yeah.
mean, it could make for funner gameplay. I know there's people that really love that series that are gonna be pissed about it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they already
Oh,
are.
yeah.
I've seen it.
Well, I'm hoping there's going to be an option for it because, like, I never finished Resident Evil 2 because I hated the way the controls worked in those games. It was just, I sucked at them. It's me. I sucked at them.
I think it's a
like it.
rumor now too. I don't think it's
No.
it's something that's being discussed, but I like that too, man. Like you know, you have the original style gameplay,
that
and then you
option.
have the updated one.
Also, when they re-released GTA 5, they added first-person mode
Yeah.
to it, which was never in there before.
Yeah.
Mm.
So
Which was
it's
super
like,
hard.
I'm cool with that. Like, yeah, it's super hard, but it
Yeah.
adds a whole new. It's a whole new game when you play it a
Yeah.
different way.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
I'm all for it.
I
I'm
am
all
as
for it.
well. Like I said, dude, having options is never a bad thing. And then I just think it's a strange thing as a purist. It's like say a band put out like a live record, and they were like, why don't you just re-record those songs the way that you did 20 years ago? You know, it's like it just seems silly to me. It's like, dude, if you want to play the original game, play the original game.
Right.
No.
It's like why are you so excited about a remake that isn't even
Well-
really a remake? I mean, it just re-releasing it on a different
Right,
console
yeah,
at
that's
that
all they
point.
Devil's advocate at this point, people that own that game in the original system and have a new TV cannot just go play that old game because the hookups to the back of their TV and monitor or whatever they're playing on they
Yeah, I
don't
mean,
work
that's
anymore.
fair, dude. But I mean, there's emulators and shit. It's not like you
Yeah.
can't get it. My brother played it not too long ago on his fucking laptop. You know, I mean, it's like you have the options to do it. But like I said, that's why I think it'd be nice to have like that.
That option.
Yeah, like to have the other option. You can still have like the original gameplay. I'm sure that wouldn't be that difficult to move over. But then like revamp it, man. Like modernize it a little bit.
Yeah.
Why not?
I'm all for the revamping of the Resident Evil 2, but my comment on like as far as the purist thing goes is like I can't play my original PS1 Crash Bandicoot anymore. And I bought the new trilogy for PS4, and it does not play the same, and it pisses me off.
How do you mean?
They reformed the platforms, and it's a platforming game. It's a precision platforming game, and they changed it from all squares to rounded off edges because that's the new way to make the games look better. So I slide off the edge of shit that I never used to before. It made the game way harder than it ever was before, and it's fucking unnecessary.
Yeah, I mean, I get that, but at the same time, I mean, this is a completely different type of game.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Like as far as this goes, I mean, you're almost playing a new game,
Hmm.
essentially.
Yeah.
Whereas, what you're talking about, it's like you're trying to do the same style of gameplay in the same type of game, but they just did something to make it more difficult. Like at this point, I don't feel like that's making it more difficult or anything different. It's just like, here's a new way to play this existing title.
Right.
I like it. I mean, I back it.
I back it because my biggest problem with going back and playing those old school games,
The
I
control-
love them.
the controls are kinda
controls
wonky,
are so
yeah.
outdated, and we're so used
Yeah.
to advanced controls, and the graphics, are a bit my eyes, it's hard to adjust, going from some beautiful
Well, I think that's a
Skyrim
big
shit
thing
to,
is people want them to just update the graphics
yeah,
and then
yeah.
re-release
Look.
the
Let's
same
look at
game.
I want look. Yeah, everybody wants to look, man. But they don't think about controls, man. That's the biggest issue with those old school games, man.
Mhm.
It's
It's
the biggest
controls.
issues, yeah.
That's the make or break for any platformer, especially.
Yep.
If the controls aren't on point, your
Yep.
game sucks. It doesn't
Absolutely.
matter how amazing your game is. If the
Absolutely.
controls don't work, your game fucking sucks.
Absolutely.
Controls are a major thing.
Yeah.
And that's why I never finished the earlier Resident
Yeah.
Evil games, because the controls were counterintuitive to me.
A million of you filthy cheating assholes were
Yeah.
banned in PUBG. If you gotta cheat at video games, man, you shouldn't be playing video games.
Yeah.
That's the way I look
Right.
at it. You
Well,
know?
especially if the game is centered around online play with other human beings. Like, if you want
Yeah.
to cheat on your own game, like, if you want to throw on a
Have
contra
at it.
code, cool, do what you're going to do. But don't affect other people's
Right.
experience because you're a piece of shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Because it could turn some people off from playing
Oh,
it. in
100%.
general, like somebody
100%.
that maybe would have really liked that game had a really bad experience with some dude who was just invincible or whatever,
Yep.
whatever he had
Yep.
going on.
Yep.
And they're like, dude, fuck this game. You can't even kill people.
Yep.
I'm not playing that anymore.
Yeah.
Or it's like somebody that's actually pretty good at gaming just thinks that they're like I can't even fucking hang on this thing, and then they
But-
just quit playing it.
But this goes all the way back to Quake on PC. And, like, granted, then it wasn't really considered cheating, but people did turn off all the textures and all the layers of the game and break it down to bare bones, just sticks and lines. And that's why some of those Quake players were fucking fantastic back in
Yeah.
the day.
I
Because
mean,
their
you-
system would run faster, not having to load all that extra
But
information.
then you're playing a line shooter. Like, what fun is that? You know?
Yeah.
Like, I'm just a line shooting. I thought, that's stupid, man.
I mean, I guess it's fun if your score's high.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
You know,
who are
but
you going to brag to? You know? I mean,
Yeah, it's like yeah, don't tell anybody that I cheated. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like look, I'm gonna tell you this, but don't let anybody know, man. I'm ranked really high in the world
I'm the
right
number
now.
one Quake player, but I cheat.
Mhm.
But it's cool, man. At least they're like
we.
weeding guys out on.
No, that is good. That is good.
Yeah, it's a positive.
We've been saying 2018 is going to be a big year, and we're excited about a lot of titles. But I'm super excited about the new Mega Man.
Yeah.
Oh
They
man.
announced that pretty recently, and fucking big Mega Man fan,
Yeah, me too.
Big Mega Man fan. And I like that they're releasing a new one, simply because the last time I was promised a new Mega Man game, we got Mighty Number 9, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it for what it was, but it was not a fucking Mega Man
No.
game. It was a letdown. It was fun. It was fun enough for what it was, but they sold me a broken game, and then it wasn't that great when it started working. But that's neither here nor there. Like,
Mighty Number 9 was trash. I'm even going to say it was a fun game. That game pissed me off.
It didn't do well. The reviews didn't
No.
well.
Let's see. Where do I start? You're gonna mimic Mega Man and have a side scroller like Mega Man. I mean, the dude is blue and he's got a Mega Buster and everything. But you add a dash into it where you kill the enemy and before they die they turn yellow and you have to dash into them to get extra points. It's fucking ridiculous. It made a whole new aspect of the game and it almost made it become unplayable. It really did. I
Yeah.
thought it was trash. Fuck you,
I
Mighty
didn't
Number 9.
play it. I've never been a big Mega Man fan, so I didn't play it.
Awful.
I enjoyed it for what it was, because at the time I wanted another game in that style, and like, yeah, they fucked it up.
Yeah, they did.
They fucked it up, but it was close enough compared to everything else that has come out in the past 5 years or whatever. Like, that was the closest I could get.
I agree with that, but it was still
Yeah.
it was a tease. It
Yeah.
really was. Mega Man coming out 2018. I can't wait.
I mean, I'm definitely gonna play this new one, but I'm not like overly excited about it. I mean, even when I was a kid, man, I just never really got into Mega Man so much. Like I played it a bit, but it wasn't a game that I was really excited about. I always liked the Castlevania games and shit like that. Like I was always into like ninja shit or like medieval type games. Like the
Remember
Mega
Iron
Man
Sword?
thing never. Although I did play Metroid a lot.
Metroid
I
was
played
dope.
Metroid a lot.
Super Metroid was awesome.
But Mega Man was one of those ones, like, I don't think I've ever owned one. Like, I played at friends' houses or something, but I was just never excited to buy it. Although I always thought the characters looked super cool.
Yeah, all the little robot man.
Yeah.
This dude Logan Paul, he's a YouTuber.
Yeah,
Yeah.
YouTube vlogger guy, recently got in trouble for uploading a video of him in the suicide forest in Japan, streaming himself next to a body,
Yeah.
like a fresh corpse. And some genius, and I'm not even saying that sarcastically,
No, it's
Some
a genius
genius.
move.
decided to make his own game for Xbox and upload it to their store, where the whole point is you play as Logan Paul. You walk around the suicide forest and stream corpses and trees for likes on YouTube and Facebook and to get more currency to level up your character.
Uh,
I think it's amazing.
I do too. I mean,
it
I thought
got
it was a
taken
great
down.
idea. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what bummed me out. They pulled it
Yeah.
for whatever reason. I'm not exactly sure why, but I mean, I'm assuming it's because of like the backlash. There was a lot of backlash about the video, but it's like I don't like censorship, man. I'm not a fan. It's just because I feel like it sets a dangerous precedent. It's like what next, especially with video games. Like, dude, look at the shit we've played over the years, and like just the atrocious shit that we've done in games. I mean, you know, we were kids. I mean, Mortal Kombat came out, and you're ripping a dude's fucking head right off of his body, with
Pulling the whole spine out.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's some brutal shit, dude. It's
you
like
go back to the first or second God of War. You're having orgies in hot tubs with people, and it's just spawning level up points all over the place.
That's right.
Yeah.
You did get level up points with fucking bitches, huh?
Yeah, man. Oh, it's just dude. It's like God of War. I mean, you get the sex scene type things. I mean, there's tons of nudity in games.
Like San Andreas had a dildo thing.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I just feel like at this point, it's like I just don't like censorship, man. I'm not a fan. It's like especially for like public outcry, man. I'm just for one, I'm just tired of people being overly sensitive about everything, and it's just like, you know, once you start doing what they tell you, and I don't know. I just think it sets a bad precedent, dude. I'm not happy about it. I don't like it.
This is one of the few times where I agree with there being a rating system for things, though. Like,
yeah.
Because normally I'm like, you know, fuck parental advisory stickers on music. Like, this artist created this music to be heard this way. You listen to it that way, or you don't listen to it. But when it comes to a video game where visual components are involved and it's not just words anymore, you kind of don't want a kid to stumble upon some really dark graphic shit, you know? Like,
why not? They're a kid. Like, I saw that shit when I was a kid. I didn't turn out to be a fucking psychopath. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I never fucking murdered anyone or raped someone.
It was more difficult. It was more difficult in our age as children to come across shit than it is now.
It was.
Yeah, kind of, man. But I mean, it was still in movies. It was still in games. You know, I mean, it's not like you didn't see this shit. It's been everywhere. I mean, when we were kids, I mean, we grew up on fucking Van Damme movies, and I mean, that shit was brutal, dude. I mean, you watch that stuff. It's like, you know, all of the good horror movies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Think about it in the 80s, man. Like Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street and fucking Halloween movies. Like, all of that shit was when we were a kid, man. That shit's brutal, dude.
Yeah, but it could be argued that you shouldn't have been watching those movies at that time, and there was a more...
Yeah, I agree,
there were more steps involved with your parents to tell you, no, you can't see this. Like, there were more steps involved for you to see that when you shouldn't have been.
I just think it's at that point, man. It's like, you know, talk to your kids, man. Explain this shit to them because they're gonna see it regardless.
Yeah.
And the more you try to force them not to, they're just gonna find a fucking way, and it's gonna make them more excited to do it, man. Like, just be a good parent. Speak to your kids. I mean, I don't know, man. I get shielding your kids from certain things, but I mean,
I thought sex was gonna be real squiggly. Turned out that wasn't the case. That was just the channel I learned from.
Yeah.
What was it? Was it 63?
I was like, I think it was 52 down here in New Orleans.
Yeah, that's. I remember what mine was, but it was something like that.
I wanna say,
like the box, like
it was like an acid trip with the occasional titty on it.
You see a titty every 15 minutes, like
Well, I think that's something though. You know, before we close out, man, I think it's something that people had to fight for at one point when they were trying to like ban all of these video games and blame all of this shit on video games and like all of this crazy censorship stuff. And like at one point, like we actually fought to keep that shit going, and now we're just like cowering to people about it. I don't like that, man. Yep. I think it's kind of shitty. Like at one point, people were fighting, like actually fighting, dude, to keep this shit going and to keep the creativity going, and you know, to keep censorship out of it. And now it's like we're fighting it back in.
Yeah.
I think it's really silly, man. It's a 180.
Yeah.
In the wrong direction, in my opinion.
I mean, I know censorship hits a lot of you know, medias and everything, but I mean, once it hits video games, I mean, it's going to be. I don't think they're going to be a lot of them, you know, enjoyable to play anymore.
Well, the point of video games, and or at least for a lot of games, is to tell a story that you can't get in a TV show or a movie
Right.
because of time or censorship or whatever like that. It's like, yeah, like censor whatever you want, like just put a rating system on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like for the sake of time, like what was that game with Ellen Page and Willem Dafoe or whatever? It was made by the company that made Hard Rain.
Yeah, I know what game
Beyond
you're
Two
talking about.
Souls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like that was a 30-hour movie. They could not have done that as a series. They could not have done it as a movie, but they managed to make it as a game, and it
Yeah.
had a whole bunch of dark shit in that game. And that was the beauty of the game, was like this game exists solely to tell this story.
Right.
It's not a fun game. Here's a story that needs to be told, and we couldn't find another avenue to do it.
How's the story?
It was very good.
Really? I got a copy of it. I never messed with it.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it when it
Really?
came out.
Okay.
Now, granted, it's dated now.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
it was a great game.
All right, before we talk about what we gave it on, all I want to say is I'm not supporting this Logan Paul dude. I don't really give two fucks about him. That's
No.
definitely not my position on that.
No,
Like,
not a fan
whatever.
of his, but
Fuck that dude. I
not a
don't really
fan of
care.
his, but the game
But,
shouldn't
The
have been
game,
pulled.
the game would have been great. I think
Right,
would have been
right.
a fun game.
Yeah.
Shane, what you been gaming on, baby?
Paladins.
Yeah.
I've been playing a lot of Paladins.
Yeah, we have.
Other than that, man, I'm still just kind of chipping away at fucking Far Cry
Okay.
3 whenever I have time. But we've been playing Paladins so much, I haven't really been messing with anything
Yeah.
else. And then like I said, I think on the last year I said I was gonna play this Immortal Redneck game, but I got it the date like a month.
Yeah, it's not out yet.
Wrong. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like it's coming out this month. So once that gets out, I'm definitely gonna do that. And then we play Wolverblade, you and I. And we've been having some internet problems. We
Yeah,
haven't been
we'll
able to
get back
finish
on
that
that as
game,
soon
but
as that gets
we
finished.
do. Yeah, on our YouTube channel, we have like half of that game that
Yeah.
you and I completed.
I played
Fun
the
game.
I played the first 2 levels of that the other day and enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was really fun, man. We
It
had a
was
good time.
game. Yeah. Besides that, what else you been playing, Paul?
I've been on Full Metal Furies like a motherfucker.
Yeah, you have.
And when I'm not doing that, I'm torturing myself with Salt and Sanctuary streams.
Yeah, I
I
played
know.
that game a bit.
It's so brutal.
I really liked the boss fights. I thought they were really fun. But
It's 2D Dark Souls. Like
Yeah.
everything about it's incredible. It's just fucking impossible.
see, I just didn't dig the stages in between bosses.
No.
But like, I really liked the boss fights that I did. But yeah, eventually, I just quit playing.
Just like Shane, we've been hitting up Paladins real hard. I've been hitting this game Too Dark, I think it's called, right?
Yeah, Too Dark.
I bought it for $2. Too Dark for $2. I really, really dig it. It's hard to explain. It's like a top down.
Yeah, it's kind of top down. Like your kids get killed and you got to save some kids.
Yeah, you kids. Yeah, you're trying to get these kids out of these complexes, and you can shoot people, and it's real old school graphics and everything.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
really, really have fun with it. And tomorrow, Die comes out, and I pre-ordered that. It's just
That looks
another
cool.
little platformer type thing. So
Yeah.
I will be hitting that up.
Right on.
But we appreciate you tuning in. Make sure to like our YouTube page at A Savage Gaming Experiment. Also on Facebook at A Savage Gaming Experiment. Double back on that Twitch at A Savage Gaming Experiment. Anything else, guys?
I think that's it.
I mean, follow our own Twitch streams. Savage Kev, Savage Paul, Savage Shane.
On
We
Twitch.
do our own streams on Twitch,
Yeah.
and those eventually get released on the Savage Gaming Experience podcast or Savage Gaming Experience YouTube page. But yeah, when we're doing live streams, you can find them if you follow us on Twitch.
It's fun.
There you go.
See y'all next time.
Peace.